Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. I wonder, can we expect to see a full Zombies campaign on disc for Call of Duty Black Ops 3? I wonder. Why do I wonder? Why do I bring this up now? Well, PlayStation have just released Conversations with Creators Episode 3 with Wil Wheaton as the host, and in this episode they're talking to Treyarch. Various topics are covered, and there are some interesting things that are said, and we'll be talking about them all in this video, but we'll also be talking about the description of the video on YouTube, which reads as follows. PlayStation Store presents a roundtable discussion with Treyarch studio head Mark Lamia, game director Jason Blundell, game director Dan Bunting, studio design director David Vonderhaar, and host Wil Wheaton about the origins of Call of Duty, Black Ops 3, and an all-new zombie campaign mode. They are the words that they use. An all-new zombie campaign mode. It's extremely weird that they chose to use those words. Now, granted, it's PlayStation saying this, not Activision, and not Treyarch, so it could well be confusing language by accident. They might have written this assuming that that is exactly what Treyarch would have wanted, but it might actually be a little misleading. However, in the video they also discuss it, and elsewhere in the past they've also talked about this new narrative. In fact, one of the original Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies leaks, I guess, from months ago now, said the following. No Treyarch title would be complete without its signature Zombies offering. A full game experience with its own distinct storyline right out of the box. Just let that sink in. A full game experience and an all-new narrative. What is it that they mean? Well, I think that the comments that they make within the Conversations with Creators episode actually clarify to some extent what exactly it is that they're referring to when they say this. There's a comment that is made midway through that is as follows. They say, consider it like a campaign, like a full story. A 7-year story arc that will, and at that point, David Vonderhaar gets cut off and they move on. The context of those comments is that they're talking about the resource allocation that has to go into making the Zombies mode, and they're saying that with the DLC and things like that, that obviously takes time. Making the campaign takes time. The multiplayer, it takes time. And now they have to consider the Zombies as well as if it is another campaign, as if it is a full story because of the resources required to make it work. So, looping back. In the description, they mentioned this all-new zombie campaign mode. On the site for the fundraiser that Call of Duty is doing right now, there are mentions of a zombie campaign hoodie and things like that. And it gets to the point where you sort of have to wonder whether all this language that they're using is accidental, or the potentially more likely option at this point, if it actually means that there's something massive planned that they're just unwilling to talk about completely openly yet. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because for years and years and years, people have been saying, hey, MrRoflWaffles, wouldn't it be great if they made a standalone Zombies game and they had a campaign and then maybe some kind of multiplayer elements like Grief, and then they had the regular Zombies as well and did that separate to Call of Duty? And something like that is sort of what we might be seeing here if they do indeed mean that there's going to be some weird kind of campaign included. It may well be, and it's possible, I wouldn't put it past Treyarch, that there'll be some kind of semi-linear experience that they try and put you through alongside doing the regular Zombies things like Easter eggs and all that stuff. It wouldn't be that weird because of all the language that they're using when describing the mode, but personally, in my eyes at least, it would just feel out of place. More Zombies content is not going to be something that I'm going to turn my nose up at. I'm obviously for that sort of thing happening, but I feel like the wording that they're using, it's always kind of as if someone that doesn't know what Zombies is talking about Zombies. If that makes sense, does that make sense, guys? I hope so. I'm trying to sort of explain the gut feeling I have about this. It's like, imagine you've got someone that's literally never played Call of Duty before, and they're having to write a news article about Zombies and explain what the mode is going to contain. It kind of has that air to it of unfamiliarity, and so they're talking about an all-new campaign, but the campaigns that we've had in the past haven't been campaigns in the sense that it's not like a single-player campaign, but they have been campaigns in the sense that, as Jason Blundell was saying, they now have that same amount of resource allocation and stuff like that. So I think you guys can see, I'm hoping at least, you can see the kind of dilemma, the internal dilemma and battle between these two ideas. It's something that they could mean, or they could mean something extremely different, and both are sort of equally possible because of this really strained language that they're using. I guess in summary, it comes down to the following. If you see the words campaign and narrative, meaning campaign in the solo sense that we're used to with Call of Duty, having a campaign mode and a multiplayer mode and a zombies mode, if that's what the words campaign and narrative mean to you, then it looks like we're getting some offering of a campaign style thing in the zombies mode. But if, like me, I guess, you see the words campaign and narrative as ways that the company can describe the story that they tell within zombies without giving us a campaign and without giving us an actual crafted linear experience, then you're probably on the side of the fence that thinks something along the lines of, we're not getting a campaign, guys. Stop being so silly. And it's probably just going to be what we're used to, zombies, but maybe with an internal twist within the mode that we would be familiar with. I'm sure there's going to be some disagreement in the comments about what this all means. Let's try our best to keep it civil, folks, if possible. And talking of keeping it civil, you know what will go great with those tea and biscuits I've just served you up? Yeah, a like. Drop one of those, and I'll see you in the next Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video I produce. Bye-bye.